Hi everyone and welcome, it's Michelle, and today I'm going to be doing my last excerpt from this lovely book on becoming an artist by Ellen J. Langer, and then I'm going to be taking some of that advice and doing some painting. So if you don't want to hear the excerpt, then skip forward and you'll be able to see me doing some watercolour painting, but I hope that some of you will still be enjoying these excerpts. As I said, it's the last one, so here's the book, and the chapter that I'm going to look at today is called The Mindful Choice, and it's chapter 10, and we've got a little quote by Pablo Picasso. I just need to check that my sound is up enough, actually. Let's just get you up there. There we go. So this is the quote by Pablo Picasso. I don't know in advance what I am going to put on canvas anymore. Sorry, let me start again. Here we go. I'm not going to try and edit it out. I'm just being real. Let's start again. I don't know in advance what I am going to put on canvas any more than I decide beforehand what colours I am going to use. That's the quote by Pablo Picasso. So in this chapter, Ellen tells us that it's time to get started, which is why I'm going to be doing some painting as soon as I've finished having a little look at some of this chapter. Now that we understand that we shouldn't worry about what others will think about our first painting or poem or whatever it is we choose to do, that comparing ourselves with others is not in our best interest, that talent is not necessary, in short, that we are going to engage our creative mind, it's time to go to the store and get whatever we need. Once we are there, however, the simple task of getting ready often quickly becomes daunting. How do we decide what we need? Should we start small or jump in head first? How do we know what the right start is? In the face of such uncertainty, we perhaps ought to pay close attention to Picasso's words. If we are to proceed mindfully, perhaps we shouldn't be interested in knowing the answers to these questions in advance. We should just buy whatever colours appeal to us, whatever brushes we think interesting, and some surface on which to paint. And I think that is, we can do a lot of procrastinating, we can do a lot of worrying, we can overthink sometimes. And I love this idea. Just use the colours that appeal to you. Grab the brushes that you are interested in using on that day. And whether it's a sketchbook or it's a watercolour block or whether it's a canvas or whatever surface it is that you're going to paint on, just grab whatever takes your fancy. Getting started at anything is like buying our first microwave. I love these analogies. As the economist Thomas Schelling is fond of saying, just buy any one, and that will tell us which one to buy next. It makes sense because if we haven't ever owned a microwave, we don't know how we will use it. Therefore, we can't know which special features we will use every day and which ones will prove superfluous. We might ask others to give their opinions or even to make the decision for us, or we might struggle to find some way of rationalizing that the model we are about to buy really does make the most sense for us. It is only after we get it home and start to use it, however, that we can come to appreciate what may or may not matter to us. If we use our new microwave just to reheat coffee, for example, we clearly didn't need special buttons for making popcorn or cooking salmon. There is an important point here. all our decisions are made in ignorance. If we knew what to do, we would just do it. Now, this really rings true for just about every client that I have in my psychotherapy room. And people are forever putting themselves down. I should have known better. I ought to have done this. Those kinds of things. And I'm constantly reminding them that actually that's all very well in hindsight, but you had to make a decision with the knowledge and the experience that you have, and without knowing what the actual outcome will be. And that's the same for all of us. We're all doing our best with the knowledge that we have, the information that we've looked up, with the experiences that we've had in our lives beforehand. And yes, maybe we've consulted with others, but however much of that we do, we are never going to know what the exact outcome is going to be. We can only ever say to ourselves that you know, we've done our best. And if we knew what to do because we knew what the outcome was, then we would have already done it. So I'm totally with Ellen on this one. So let's read on. She says, that is, we would not be faced with a decision in the first place. The problem is not knowing, rather, the problem is thinking we should know. And that is absolutely true. That is the problem, thinking that we should know, or we ought to have known. Or, oh, there we go. I don't quite know what happened there. Bit of a blip, but we're back. Understanding how we approach decisions and how to make them a vital part of our mindful creativity is an important part of our personal renaissance. Any new endeavour is rife with decisions we'll have to face without much experience or knowledge. With respect to painting, how can we know what colours we need in what amounts and what kinds of brushes we'll want unless we know just what we are going to paint and how we are going to paint it? But if our plan is that exact, the painting is not likely to be created mindfully, nor is it likely to be fun in the doing. And that kind of fits with my previous excerpt and the Tiger Woods analogy. When faced with a decision, we tend to consider what we think are our opinions and then predict the consequences we think are likely to result from each. It is in this process that we seem to feel most acutely the difficulty of trying to predict. All of us, some of the time, and some of us all the time, become stressed when facing a decision. The more important we believe the outcome will be for us, the harder the decision is to make. Mindful creativity, however, is supposed to be fun. The choices we make in the store today shouldn't weigh heavily on us, yet these decisions still weigh us down and even keep many of us from proceeding, although our stress is especially foolhardy given the reality of mindful decision making. So, and she goes on about more about the nature of decisions and the difference between a guess, a prediction, a choice, a decision, etc. So it's, you know, it is very interesting, but, you know, mindful decision making is more about being in the moment and what we feel is going to be right for what we're doing today and how we're feeling. So, you know, we don't, if we are putting pressure on ourselves to say that every piece of work that we do has to be a masterpiece, then we're taking all of the joy and the mindfulness out of it, really. So I think that you know, there's a good point there, really. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for today, and really the big message there is just get started, give it a go, give it a try, and have fun while you're doing it. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. And I think there is just one more thing that I would, you know, like to reiterate, really, from the first excerpt and the second one, really. Maybe that one voice that told us that we don't have talent should be put firmly in its place. It is, after all, just one voice. It doesn't have to have any huge meaning to it. The meaning belongs to the person that said it. It doesn't belong to me, and it doesn't belong to you. We don't have to take it on board, and we don't have to. We have a choice to recognize that it's something that's going on with that person and their beliefs about talent and what art is. We don't have to agree with that, and we don't have to let it get to us and stop us from being artistic and creative. So on that note, let's move on. I found this little book on my bookshelf. Sometimes I forget what books I've got because I'm a bit of a book hoarder and I love books. This one is from the accordion books by Jackie Morris, and it's The One of the Fox. And I love all of this swatching on the front, all these lovely kind of foxy colours. And on one side, and we've got them all again here in dots, on one side you've got some inspirational words, poetry, all about the fox. And then on the other side we have these most wonderful drawings that spread out. I'm probably not going to get it all in on screen, but you get the gist. We have this fox moving across the concertina sketchbook, and I quite like that idea. It's inspired me today, so I have done a little bit of research. I'm going to be using this Potentate concertina sketchbook today. Now, I can't remember whether I got this from Amazon or whether I got it from Temu, whatever we want to call it. But it's just over 5 inches by 5 inches, so it's a roughly 5 inches square, and we've got, it's not huge, we've got 6 pages on each side of the concertina book. So I'm going to be starting with the first 6 pages. It's, what is this? This is 300 GSM watercolour paper. It's yeah, it's cold pressed. So that's what I'm going to be using. I've pulled out this because this felt like the one that I wanted to use today. So I'm just being mindful, and I like the idea of the concertina sketchbook. I want to use this lovely little dish, maybe to mix some colours up. This little dish was given to me by my very special, lovely friend Paula. So yeah, that's why that's sat there. And I have gone to Unsplash, which is royalty free, copyright free photographs that you can use And I've come up with these 6 pictures of robins, and I've decided what order I want to do them in. Now, I'm not going to be able to do these and make them like a photograph. That's not the point. It's to give me an idea of different angles, different poses, for the, for a robin, if you like. And I'm going to start with this one here because it's kind of pointing in towards the other pages. I'm going to finish with this one because then on page 6 we'll have this robin kind of looking back. Whether this is going to work or not is another thing. And like I've mentioned on several videos now, I'm just going to be giving it my best shot. I haven't tried to do this before, so it's not something that I've practiced before or anything like that. I'm going to need some water. There's some water. Let's get some brushes out. 1, 2, 3. Don't know if I'll need a really big one for this small sketchbook, but I've got my Van Gogh round brushes, 12, 8 and 4. They're all synthetic. These are really non-expensive brushes, and yeah, I'm not very gentle and I don't clean my brushes as often as I should, so they last pretty well, and because they're so inexpensive, they're easy for me to replace. And then I've got this little we'll just call it, it's like a rigger, but it's not your thinnest rigger. It's probably round about a size 3 rigger, I would guess. So I've got some brushes at the ready. I'm going to need a cloth. What else am I going to need? I'm going to need some paint. So today, let's have a play with my Schminker. These are just the Schminker Academy. They're not the Schminker Horadam, which are their more professional lines. This is their more student line, but and that's better. Let's get you back in. But this is the one that I pulled out just to have a play with. I think it's got some nice colours that will work well for our robin. So where to start? You see, this is it. Then our brain starts going, where do I start? Where do I start? Well, I think I am going to start with my robin and then get my branch in, then do a bit of a background. Or I might not do a background. I might actually have the branch reaching over into the next one and then have the next robin there. Now, in order for this not to be a hugely long video, I'm probably not going to paint all 6 of these. I might split it up a bit. I might do some now and then I'll do the rest in another video. Right, let us get started. Now, I'm just going I'm going to go for it. Right, let's start with his little head. And what is this? Is this sepia? Sepia. Which way round do you go? That way? That way. So let's get a bit of sepia. And you'll notice that, yes, I'm using a dirty part of my palette. These things are not, they don't worry me too much. So, yeah, let me try and wiggle round a bit. I'm at a funny angle here, but let's get his little head going. and coming down to his little body and his tail. And I'm just going to smudge that a bit and get my, I'm kind of drawing with the paint here, and then that goes down there. Okay, then we're going to need to get some of this red in. Now, which red shall we use? And I'm talking out loud here so that you can hear my kind of mindful process, if you like. This cadmium red looks like it's probably a good one. So that's this one here. So maybe I need it to be a bit more orangey. Here we go. Let's take our red and add a bit of the Indian yellow to it and make it a bit more of an orangey red. That's better. That's more like it, I think. Right, so let's keep coming down here, and this is probably going to run in, but I'm doing this as a very loose thing. And then we've got his belly coming around, but that's got to go out even further. And then if we take our sepia again, and I want to lighten that up a bit. Let's get some bleed proof white in here so that we can get the rest of this kind of belly going on, and I'll get it into the right colour in a minute. Now let's get a little beak. Which has run everywhere, but as I said, I'm not too worried about it. And I'm going to tidy him up a bit more later on. I just wanted to get a bit of an idea going on there. And this is how I talk to myself. It's like, well, you can tidy that up. You can do something with it in a bit. It will be fine. I'm just going to use my tissue to stop that brown running in where I want the orange. There we go. Now we're back to our orange. Right, let's get our where we want our branch to be, or branches to be. So let's stick with our sepia, but maybe add a bit of yellow ochre to it to make it a slightly different colour for our branch. And I'm going to need my branch to come across where the feet are, round into this next picture. And we'll just have that kind of going off the page a bit. Isn't he looking cute? And we need some other twiggy bits coming off. And just for effect, I'm going to do a little bit up in that corner. Right, and we need a bit more so we can have a slightly thicker branch coming out. And there isn't much behind him actually, so I don't want to go overboard. I'm not, do I want to do a blue sky? I don't think I want to do a blue sky or blue background. I think I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to take the cadmium red that I used, let's do it down here, for the red breast of the robin, just to get some of these little berries in. That are here and there. Because that's why he's visited this little branch, I would imagine, so that he can eat the little berries. Right, let's go back to our robin. And where's my sepia? There you are. Let's just add you back in there, that's fine. And it's don't know whether this is not dry enough yet, but I need to darken this side. And there's a kind of a wing. And then maybe just have something going on there. And then I don't want I want that to blend in a bit more like that. Now that's looking more like his little wing. I think I'm going to add some more white to his underbelly. Yeah, that's better. I don't know how dry that is. No. Right, I'm just going to quickly dry. I'm not going to pause because it's only going to take 2 seconds. That should do it. I want to get the dark cap. Would you call it a little cap that he's wearing? Let's call it a little cap. I just need to kind of darken that bit up there. Kind of goes round a bit. And then let's just blend that in with the bit that's already there, so that we haven't got too many harsh lines. And blend that bit more. Now I need to get his eye in, but I think I'm going to use this Unipin fine liner, waterproof, fade proof, etc. It's a 0.7, which I think will be about the right size for his eye. Now then, do I need to tidy any more of this up? Maybe that needs to come around a bit more. But I think I'm going to leave him as he is. He's my... Do I put any berries up there? Let's go for some berries up there as well. Maybe just loose, fainter berries. Yeah. So I think you get the idea. I'm going to do my... Let's move you over a bit more. I'm going to do my next robin sat here, and then I might just do that as a branch coming round so it meets this one, but have it so that it goes slightly over the page. So yeah, that is me just getting going, getting started. And obviously, you know, I could use some coloured pencils if I want to tidy that up a bit more when it's dry. But yeah, a lot of the time I won't do a sketch. I will just go in with my paint and draw with my paint. And that's something that I've learnt that I like to do. My way of doing things, and I'm happy with doing it that way. I've just noticed that my branch needs something added to it. Let's get... No, not you. Let's get some of this blue. You see, this is the thing. I can always keep going and sometimes end up going too far. But my branch needed a bit more definition. So here we go. Here's my very simple little robin. And I'm going to continue doing my robins across the pages, looking at each other or looking up at a branch, and I'm going to try and get the flow going with these. So yeah, look out for the next video, which will be my Robin Concertina book. We'll call it that. I hope it's been interesting today for you. Do hop over and have a look at my Substack. There's lots on there that is absolutely free. Yeah, if you're doing the vase or vase tobe with me, then go and have a look at my Discord server, which is where you can upload your prompts, your challenges that you've done. And yeah, hype my videos if you can. That would be so lovely. Yeah, take care, everybody. See you next time.